welcome back for a little bit of bonus content in our Facebook Fundraiser Challenge. I'm Sandy Reese, and it has been my pleasure to be your host this week to walk you through the process of putting together a fundraiser that you can use on Facebook anytime to fund a specific solvable need in your nonprofit in just one day. And I hope that you can see by now how you can do this in one day. Now, honestly, are you going to have to start early to plan it out? Yes, you will. It may take you a few days to really think about it, to get your image, to write your message and so forth, but when you load that fundraiser up, you'll be able to raise the money in just one day, which is very cool, very exciting, and that will really give you a big boost in your confidence and enthusiasm for going forward. Okay, I want to touch on one piece that can get left behind sometimes, and that is thanking people. So yay that people gave to your fundraiser, but we need to thank them well. Because there's something called the cycle of giving, and it has two parts. People give, and you have to thank them. If you don't thank them, it doesn't complete the cycle, and the cycle can't repeat. So if you think about asking people for money, you've got to thank them when they give. Otherwise, they're going to feel like all you ever do is show up with your hand out wanting money. It feels crappy. So we need to thank them as best we can. Now, Facebook fundraisers are a little tricky because the donor has to check a box. So as a donor, I love Facebook fundraisers. It's really easy. Facebook remembers my credit card information. But there is a little box, and I mean it is little, that you have to check that says, please share my information with the charity. If you don't check that box, the charity does not get that information, which is frustrating, especially if you understand the value of building your donor base and you want to get these names and emails of people onto your list so that you can stay in touch with them. Okay, so there are a couple of things that you can do. All right, number one, thank early and often. Now, what I mean by this is you have got to monitor your Facebook fundraiser once you post it. So once you click the button and you get it live on Facebook and you check it in multiple places, make sure everything's looking good, don't take your eye off of it too long. You want to keep up with it so that as people give, you can thank them as quick as possible. So, for example, if I come along and I make a donation, that is a bit of an emotional time for a donor. We've bought into the fact that you've just given us the opportunity to change a life. I'm excited to do that. I want to help. And the faster you can thank me for that, the faster it closes the loop on the cycle of giving, the faster I feel like the hero, the faster I want to see how else I can help. Does that make sense? So don't set this up and then leave for like 5 or 6 hours. Keep your eyes on it. Thank as quickly as you can. And you can even repeat. You can thank people in multiple ways, especially if you know them. All right. If you do happen to know them, or if they do give you their information, you can also message them to first thank them for their donation and also ask them for their email address. What that does is that gives you permission to send them updates. And honestly, that's how I word that, is I say, thank you so much for making a donation. We really appreciate it. If you don't mind to give me your email address, I would love to send you a thank you note and also some updates about this project and other things that we have going on. You see how that works? I'm not saying, give me your email so I can put you on my newsletter list. Nobody wants to be on a newsletter list. But I'm saying I want to provide you with some updates and treat you like the valued donor that you are. So if you can, message them and ask for their email. Now, this is a little labor intensive. It is, and it's going to take a little time. But let me ask you this. What's it worth to you to start building a donor base of people who love your organization's mission and are willing to give every time you ask? Yeah, it's really worth it. Listen, we've got clients that do Facebook fundraisers, and they get hundreds of donations, and they have team that's all they do. All they're doing on giving days and Facebook fundraiser days, they're thanking donors and trying to get email addresses and getting those in their system. It is a lot of work, but just remember, it's not necessarily just about this one donation that the donor makes. It's about lifetime value of that donor and how much do you want that person to continue giving. Okay, in a few days, post an update. So I'll go back to the example that we have in the handouts of Barney the Blind Horse from Ronchar Ranch. What you want to do in a case like that, when you're asking people to help with a specific solvable problem, then once you collect the money, you spend the money, and you've solved that problem, you got to go back and do an update and say to everybody who gave, thank you so much. We were able to get Barney's mask, and now it fits right, and he's more comfortable, and this was a win all the way around. Thank you again. So that number one, it builds trust because you're showing people that you did what you said you were going to do with the money. And number two, it gives you a reason to give them an update and show what's going on at your organization, which is always a good thing. Now, there's probably a whole lot more that we could talk about, but this will get you started on thanking people, just to be able to do something pretty quickly to wrap up your Facebook fundraiser. Okay, that is it for right now. If you have questions, you can ask them here, or you can go over to the Fundraising for Founders Facebook group. I am there. I'm actually going to be hanging out there for a little while this afternoon and answering questions or looking at your fundraisers. I'm hoping that we're seeing some wins already today. This has been very exciting, and I can't wait to see what results you get. All right, guys, I'll see you a little bit later.